Initiation from the Rennington Chronicles by PF Felix. It was 11:55 p.m. The invitation said to be there at midnight and not a moment later. For Mitzi von Buren, this was the chance of a lifetime. Although exhausted after a week of midterms, tutoring, and working part-time on the farm, there was no way in hell she was going to miss this. "Can't turn back now," she exclaimed. "This is the opportunity I've been waiting for my whole young adult life. A chance at a do-over, but only if I become a member of St. Bartholomew's Academy elite class of scholar leaders, a true gargoyle." To her it was worth any sacrifice. After all, how many high school sophomores got invited to a secret society? Like never, she thought. Yes, sirree, Bob, I've got to do it. As she waited by the river, she kept looking at her watch, nervous about the time. "It's almost midnight. Where the freak is everyone?" she pondered. "This better not be another silly prank. Darn, what if it is?" It wasn't like everyone was receptive towards her family's Hicks story. Although her GPA and IQ proved otherwise, she always got crap for being from the wrong side of white, whatever the heck that meant. "I'm not my family, I'm not my family," she kept repeating to herself. It was now 12:01 a.m. "Sheesh, what the freak?" she exclaimed. She stood up and began frantically circling about the area. As she checked the time repeatedly, the outcome was the same. No one surfaced. It was time to accept the truth. "I thought this year was going to be different," she whispered to herself. For years she tried so hard to fit in, yet the stain of her family's past would not dissolve. She could still hear them. "Shouldn't you be inbreeding with your kin, like your dropout hick mama?" "I'm not my family," she repeated one final time. "They played me," she thought to herself, and the why didn't matter. It was so obvious. "They hate me," she whimpered angrily. "I hate myself. I wish I could just..." Then, from nowhere, she heard an unusual sound. What was that? She questioned, and hurriedly turned around to ascertain where the crackling sound of branches was coming from. Mitzi was stunned. The sound came closer and closer. It sounded like a wild animal with its raspy breathing and slight growling. "Jesus," she exclaimed. She quickly hid behind two large boulders near a willow oak tree. "What in heaven is?" she whispered in terror. Then the growling started gradually amplifying. She peeked in between the rocks but couldn't see anything. Suddenly, sprouting up from behind, a dark shadow towered over her, masking her own shadow. She slowly turned around and screamed at the sight of it. The creature overtook her in a moment, viciously biting her neck. The bite was fierce and sharp. She immediately felt her head spin, and the darkness slowly consumed her. As her eyes closed, she realized it had begun. Good. Then it all went black. Moments later, she awoke to a familiar face. It was Tanya Lee, the president of SBA's chess club and leader of the Gargoyles. Seeing Tanya, coupled with a group of other SBA student leaders smiling gently at her, made the horror of the attack suddenly feel minimal. "Hey you made it, Mitzi," said Tanya. "I knew you wouldn't chicken out." "It was you," Mitzi whispered. "You sent the invitation?" She slowly smiled. "Yeah, I knew you were ready when you beat the cocky Belmont senior at last month's academic games. I saw your hunger, your desperation. Now you're one of us. From now on, Mitzi, no one will ever tease you or your family's name again. You survived it, and now you're officially a gargoyle, just like everyone before you. You're SBA royalty now, and you'll never be alone again. Welcome home, my sister. Welcome to the pride." Mitzi began to cry. "Thank you," she yelled out. "Why are you crying, girlie?" Rebecca Joyner quipped. "You're one of us now. Your past is behind you. We are your new family now and forever." Wiping away longing tears, Mitzi replied, "Because I'm finally home. I'm free." As the group of kids circled the new fledgling, staring from a far distance was Chancellor Maggs and Mr. Von Buren. The gentleman was teary-eyed and took off his cowboy hat with honor towards his daughter. She had survived the demon. She finally ascended. "Are you sure about this, Michael?" said a concerned Chancellor Maggs. "She doesn't need to know now. All that matters is how she feels. She's proud of who she's become. That's all a parent can ever ask for." The Chancellor placed a hand on his shoulder to console the proud man. Mr. Von Buren then turned to her and said, "Please don't tell her about her mother. Let's just keep that between us." "But the metamorphosis," said a concerned Maggs. "Let her just enjoy this time for now," he softly replied. "She's earned it." And that was a story by PF Felix. To find out more about what takes place, you gotta check out the Rennington Chronicles.